Okay, you're in my office again, and I have my sidekick Erin with me. She's the one that's doing the video, so she's come to work with me today, and she's going to help with videotaping these different days of Bible study. Okay, so we begin day 2. If you remember, yesterday we left with the first element of Daniel's vision, which was the coming reign of God. And that was where war is waged against the saints. But God's throne is fixed in heaven, and the security of the kingdom of God is established by the work of the Son of Man. That was the first element. The second element is today's study, and it is the certain judgment of evil. So if you'll turn to me with page 59, we've got a passage here in John 12:31. It says, "Now is the judgment of this world." He said, "Now will the ruler of this world be cast out. He is cast out by Christ's death and resurrection, but he is not yet cast into the lake of fire." Okay, so we're looking at the second element. Satan is not yet cast out as part of this Daniel's vision. But there's something curious about this this passage of Daniel, and again, this is Daniel 7, verses 13 to 28. And part of this says, on page 59, it says, "As I looked, thrones were placed, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was fiery flames. Its wheels were burning fire. A stream of fire issued and came out from before him. 1,000 thousands served him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The courts sat in judgment, and the books were opened." Okay, so this Ancient of Days is used 3 times in this verse alone. And so what does Ancient of Days mean? Well, Ancient of Days means that our Father is everlasting to everlasting. He was there before time began. He is there with his eye in judgment on all things, even now. So when we see the Ancient of Days used 3 times, this is God who sits on a throne and is judging. And it says that the book is opened. And at that time, the Ancient of Days is bringing forth judgment. And then it says, and this is going to be important in day 4, and I don't think you'll catch it right now, but we'll study it in day 4. But it says, "Then from a distance, riding as it were on the clouds of heaven, the Son of Man comes to the Ancient of Days." It says here in verses 13 and 14, "I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man. And he came to the Ancient of Days, and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory, and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed." Again, you see this theme of everlasting. It says this one that comes, this Son of Man, he's given dominion and glory, and it will last, everlasting dominion, and it does not pass away. So if we look through this verse, the activity here says, pick one name from the Son of Man in this passage, and how it deepens your respect for Jesus Christ. How have you found respect to be central to worship? And the one thing I was thinking was, as I read through the entire passage, that's verses 13 through 28, I kept seeing the highest one. And whenever I saw the highest one, with the highest one was his saints. They were almost inseparable. And it says that the highest one will prevail. So it's a horrific picture that is seen, and terrifying. But in the end, it says he prevails and is given everlasting dominion. Now it says here in verse 27 at the bottom of 60, the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. His kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Now, I don't know if it was a misprint or nothing about this passage, but it kept saying their kingdom. It is not their kingdom. It is his kingdom. He is the highest one, and all dominions shall serve him, including ourselves. So this is the second element, the promise coming reign of God. Okay, that closes day 2, and we will pick up in day 3 tomorrow.